Nouroz is the Persian New Year. Nouroz is an important festival in Iran. Stay with us to find out how people celebrate the Persian New Year. Nouroz, literally meaning a new day, has through the ages lived up to its name in wondrous ways. For much of the world, it has provided the supreme occasion for renewal and rejuvenation, for new resolves and new beginnings. The power behind its inexhaustible appeal to the human mind resides in a simple truth. Humans need a ritual that transcends distinct and distinguishable groups, peoples and nations to celebrate our common humanity. Nouroz does so by inviting us to contemplate nature as it puts on its most magnificent dress at springtime and to synchronize personal and communal relations with the spirit of nature. By pointing to nature's ability to renew itself each year, Nouroz has evolved through the millennia the manifestation of more pressing and more intense human yearnings. It's also celebrated in several other countries across the Middle East, Central Asia, South Asia, the Balkans and East Africa, and dates back at least 3,000 years. The holiday has changed over the thousands of years that it has been celebrated, and different regions have preserved or developed different traditions as well as added new ones. But wherever it is observed, it celebrates the original message of rebirth and renewal. Nouroz marks the spring equinox when night and day are of equal length. This is usually on the 20th or 21st of March. It's the day when winter changes into spring in the Northern Hemisphere, and it feels like a new beginning. In Iran, it's followed by 4 days of public holidays, and schools and universities close for 2 weeks. The roots of Nouroz are scattered in myth and in history. They go deep into the earth beneath our feet, all the way to the time when the settlement of the first peoples in Mesopotamia and the Caucasus, on the Iranian plateau and the steppes of Central Asia, signaled a new phase in human civilization. In Persian mythology, it is King Jamshid who is credited with the founding of Nouroz as the beginning of the ancient Iranian calendar. Celebrating the new year at the vernal equinox may well have been an old Babylonian tradition already known before 2340 BC, as it is often mentioned in later Babylonian documents, and the Achaemenid king Darius I may well have built Persepolis for the specific purpose of celebrating Nouroz festivities there. Most royal traditions of Nouroz, such as yearly common audiences, cash gifts, and the pardon of prisoners, were established during the Sasanian era, and they persisted unchanged until modern times. Çaharshanbe Suri. Çaharshanbe Suri is the night before the last Wednesday of the year and is celebrated by Iranians as the celebration of the light over the darkness. It's an ancient Iranian festival dating back to at least 1700 BCE of the early Zoroastrian era. This festival is the celebration of the light, the good, and its winning over the darkness, the bad. The tradition includes people going into the streets and alleys to make bonfires and jump over them while singing the traditional song, Zade ye man az tu, soki ye tu az man. This literally translates to, my yellowness is yours, your redness is mine, with the figurative message, my paleness, pain, sickness, for you, the fire, your strength, health, for me. The fire is believed to burn out all the fear, yellowness, in their subconscious or their spirit in preparation for the new year. Serving different kinds of pastry and nuts, known as Ajil-i Moshkel Gosha, which means problem-solving nuts, is the way of giving thanks for the previous year's health and happiness while exchanging any remaining paleness and evil for the warmth and vibrancy of the fire. Amo Nouroz is an elderly, silver-haired man with a long beard carrying a walking stick, wearing a felt hat and linen trousers. Haji Furuz represents the firekeepers in the Zoroastrian tradition, but used to dress in red. The firekeeper's second duty was to call on the people to burn their old objects in the fire and to renew their life is the fundamental message of Nouroz. They believed by doing so they would regain health and remove the evil spirit. Kane Takani. People start getting ready for Nouroz about 1 month in advance. It all begins in early March with spring cleaning. This tradition, known as Kane Takane, literally meaning shaking the house, is common in almost every household. Carpets are washed, windows are wiped, silverware is polished, curtains are taken to the dry cleaners, and old furniture is repaired or replaced with a new one. Every nook and cranny is scrubbed and polished until the whole house is sparkling clean. All family members are involved in this ritual, a ritual that signifies a fresh start to the year. It's widely believed that all the dust and grime, ill fortune, is also washed away and the slate is wiped clean again. Anything broken is repaired or replaced, and the house is decorated with flowers. By doing this spring cleaning, people wash away the bad things from the previous year and prepare for better things to come in the new year. But a major part of the New Year rituals is setting the haft scene, with 7 specific items. In ancient times, each of the items corresponded to one of the 7 creations and the 7 holy immortals protecting them. All the 7 items start with the letter S. Here are some of the items and what they symbolize. Sumac, crushed spice of berries, for the sunrise and the spice of life. Senjed, sweet dry fruit of the lotus tree, for love and affection. Sirke, vinegar, for patience and age. Sebe, apples, for health and beauty. Samanu, wheat pudding, for fertility and the sweetness of life. Sebe, garlic, for good health. Sabza, sprouted wheatgrass, for rebirth and renewal of nature. In addition to these S items, there are other symbolic items that go on the haft scene table. It's customary to place a mirror on the table to symbolize reflection on the past year, a bowl of real goldfish to symbolize new life, colored eggs to represent fertility, coins for prosperity in the new year, special flowers called hyacinths to symbolize spring, and candles to radiate light and happiness. Each family places other items on the table that are special. For example, the Quran, the holy book of Islam, or the Shamaneh, an epic Persian story of colourful kings and princes written around the year 1000 CE. Another important item to place on the haft scene table is a book of poetry by the famous poet Shams-ud-Din Hafez. Hafez lived in Persian lands during the 14th century CE and wrote many volumes of poetry and prose narrative. Zizar Badar. Zizar Badar takes place on the 13th day of the Persian New Year and marks the end of the Nouroz holiday. It's customary for Persians to celebrate such a day by spending the day outdoors picnicking. Families will pack their lunch and head out to the park of their choice to spend the day enjoying the warmer temperature of springtime while hanging out with family and friends. The time spent outdoors with friends is filled with joviality and happiness. Picnic items are set out, kebabs are grilled, music and dancing take place, as well as various fun games are played by all. Another customary thing to do is to take the sabza from their sofra haft seen and throw it in a stream, a river, or anywhere where water flows. The action of throwing away the zabza represents removing negativity from one's home. It's believed that the zabza that is placed on the sofra haft seen will collect all the negativity and ill in the household during its time of growth. Releasing it into a running stream or river then symbolizes new beginnings, as all that is sick and ill is removed from one's home. We find this part of the culture very symbolic, as in mythology, water represents purity. So throwing what is evil in water that flows is a representation of evil being literally transported away by purity. All that's not pure and good then is simply carried away downstream and does not remain stationary. We offer our best wishes to everyone marking Nouroz. May this day advance happiness, health and harmony to all. Happy Nouroz.